In the world of military drones, they aren't just for show. They help identify enemy positions, pinpoint targets for airstrikes, and adapt if a mission goes sideways. In the ongoing conflict with Russia, Ukrainian homemade drones have changed the game. According to statistics from the Ministry of Digital Transformation, these drones are responsible for destroying 50% of Russian armored vehicles. But how exactly are these homemade drones wreaking havoc on the battlefield? Let's dive deeper into their tactics and the incredible damage they're inflicting on expensive Russian tanks valued at $5 million each. Drones have become a go-to tool for military operations. Initially, the US military was the sole user of this technology in Iraq, Afghanistan, Somalia, Libya, Syria, and Pakistan. Countries like Ukraine, Russia, Azerbaijan, Turkey, and even groups like the Houthis have jumped on the drone bandwagon now as well. So, how do drone strikes actually work? Number 1. Dropping bombs. Drones can carry guided and cluster bombs, hand grenades, or other explosives and drop them on the target area. They can do this one at a time or as a swarm. Number 2. Firing missiles. Some drones are armed with air-to-surface missiles, which can pack shrapnel, biological, radiological, or chemical hazards, so this way they are used for firing missiles too. Number 3. Crashing at the target. Drones can also be turned into weapons themselves. Loaded with explosives, they can crash into or explode above the target. Now, why are drone strikes a big deal? Well, they're great for taking out high-value targets with precision, and these precise, powerful strikes make enemy rethink their moves. It is also less risky for troops. Fewer boots on the ground means fewer lives at risk, and they're cheaper than traditional military operations. With drones, you have fewer civilian casualties. Drones aim precisely, reducing collateral damage. Ukraine has turned its army of drones into a formidable military force, thanks to a collaborative effort between the military, government, and private groups. Now, when it comes to aerial power, Russia has a larger and more powerful air force, outnumbering Ukraine's fighter jets by an estimated margin of 10-1. However, Ukraine has found ways to level the playing field. Ukraine's air defenses have been so effective that Russia rarely sends its fighter jets into Ukrainian airspace anymore. They have over 1,000 grounded fighter jets due to the risk. While drones may not match the firepower of fighter jets, they have allowed Ukraine to surveil and harass Russian troops in different ways by using the drones for reconnaissance and attacks. These flying machines are becoming more autonomous, relying less on human intervention. Drones are leveling up with AI, and it's changing the game. In China, they even have underwater ones that can swim like aquatic predators. Turkey, not to be left out, developed a fascinating idea: drone carriers. These are aircraft carriers, but instead of fighter jets, they carry drones to different parts of the world. However, AI is the secret sauce that makes this idea work. Neither Kiev nor Moscow were fully prepared for the drone warfare we're witnessing. Russia had to play catch-up, incorporating drones like the Israeli-made Fort Post before facing sanctions and a tech blockade. Now, they're going big on Iranian drones, like the Shahid and others from Iran and Israel. Ukraine started with a drone deficit but has been catching up. They've developed interesting ones like the Ram and PD-1, along with the UJ-22 and Viber, which have better range. Plus, they got a boost from the US with the Switchblade 300 and 600 drones. But the star of the Ukrainian drone show is the Bayraktar TB2. Interestingly, Ukraine has a website called United24 for drone donations, where they specify their needs for monitoring a huge 2,470-kilometer front line and supporting responses to enemy attacks. Russia is also beefing up its drone arsenal with a recent contract for 2,000 units, its biggest purchase to date. Ukrainian forces have successfully used FPV first-person view drones to target and neutralize Russian tanks, and the footage is making waves. The Ukrainian air assault forces shared a video on Telegram, capturing the moment when a Russian T-90 tank found itself in a perilous situation, stuck halfway down a leafy cliff. The tank's predicament didn't go unnoticed as an FPV drone swooped in and struck the vehicle, leading to a dramatic explosion. The destruction of the T-90 took place near Bakhmut, close to the scene of intense fighting in the 18-month war. The 80th Air Assault Brigade, one of Ukraine's most battle-hardened formations, was deployed to this critical area last month. The 80th Air Assault Brigade proudly declared, Quote, another enemy tank done. But what's truly impressive is the cost-effectiveness of these drones. Ukraine is repurposing affordable hobby drones into formidable weapons against Russian military equipment worth millions. These amateur loitering munitions can be armed with makeshift warheads, delivering severe damage to expensive tanks and weapon systems. The result? Inflicting far greater costs on the enemy. Samuel Bendet, a Russian defense and technology expert at the Center for Naval Analysis, emphasized the economic advantage, stating, "The whole point is cost, and these drones are indeed incredibly cost-effective." To put it in perspective, a single FPV drone typically costs around $400 to $500, roughly equivalent to the price of a new PlayStation. This successful deployment of FPV drones adds to Russia's mounting equipment losses during its unprovoked invasion of Ukraine, with over 2,200 tanks documented as lost, according to open-source tracking website Oryx. In another impressive feat, the Ukrainian Defense Forces, aided by FPV drones, managed to destroy 3 units of Russian military equipment worth over $5 million in the Bakhmut area. This included a T-80 tank, a SAU-2S1 self-propelled howitzer, and an MTU-90 armored bridge builder, all brought down by a single attack drone operated by soldiers from the Code 9.2 unit. Thanks to the skills of these Ukrainian soldiers and their quadcopter, the Russians face a significant hindrance in firing howitzers, deploying tanks, or transporting equipment across water obstacles. The battlefield dynamics are shifting, and the power of FPV drones is undeniable. But they aren't the only drones causing troubles for Russia. In the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia, a remarkable revelation has emerged about the formidable impact of Ukrainian kamikaze drones. The Ministry of Digital Transformation reported that operators of these drones, part of what's colloquially known as the drone army, successfully targeted and hit a staggering 189 pieces of enemy equipment. This revelation allows us to gauge the significant losses inflicted by these drones when compared to data from the General Staff. The impact of drones becomes evident, as recorded are that drones accounted for 44% of losses in the tanks department, contributed to 57% of losses to the armored combat vehicles, were responsible for 20% of losses on artillery systems, 15.3% of losses on MLRS multiple launch rocket systems, special equipment 2.5% of losses, and drones were responsible for 22.77% of losses of motor vehicles. This data underscores that drones, including both kamikaze drones and UAVs equipped with munitions, are predominantly used to target armored vehicles, constituting half of the enemy's total losses. The second most targeted category by drones is motor vehicles, owing to their mobility and widespread use. Interestingly, the Minister of Digital Transformation statistics also include personnel as targets, accounting for 1.46% of the total human losses suffered by the Russian Federation during the same period. This figure suggests that the use of drones for targeting personnel remains relatively limited but holds potential for future effectiveness. In conclusion, the incredible effectiveness of Ukrainian homemade drones in neutralizing multi-million-dollar tanks is nothing short of astonishing. These small, cost-effective aerial warriors are changing the face of modern warfare. If you found this video informative and eye-opening, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more insightful updates on the ever-evolving world of military technology. We would love to hear your thoughts and comments. Have you been following the impact of drones in modern conflicts? Share your opinions and insights in the comment section below.